Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson at the Butterfly Princess Academy, where curiosity takes flight and wisdom wears wings. Today, in today's lesson, we're going to be exploring a dish. Today's dish is mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream. So here goes. In the realm of culinary creations, few dishes embody warmth, texture, and harmony as elegantly as mushroom and rice stuffed peppers crowned with a velvety drizzle of sour cream. Picture a vibrant bell pepper, its glossy skin blushing shades of crimson or gold, hollowed and brimming with a fragrant melody of earthy mushrooms, tenderizing aromatic herbs. As it emerges from the oven, the pepper's flesh softens into a suppler embrace, yielding to a filling that crackles with savoury depth. Toasted grains, umami rich fungi, and whispers of garlic and thyme. The final flourish, a dollop of cool tangy sour cream, cascades over the dish like a silken veil, balancing richness with brightness. This is a meal that transcends simplicity, inviting the senses to wander through layers of flavour and comfort while rustic ingredients unite in a symphony of taste and texture. The magic of the dish lies in its contrast. The pepper's natural sweetness against the earthy, almost meaty depth of mushrooms, the chewy resilience of rice just juxtaposed with the cream's luxurious smoothness. Each bite is a journey, a crackle of black pepper, the hint of parsley, the fat, and the faint smokiness of paprika lingering beneath the surface. It is a celebration of humble components, elevated by care, a reminder that nourishment is as much about soul as sustenance. Whether served at a family gathering or savoured in solitary confinement, mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream are a testament to the timeless allure of food with that comfort, satisfies, and delights. So, so here is the history of the dish. The dish of mushroom and rice stuffed peppers adorned with a cooling veil of sour cream is a testament to the interplay of geography, cultural exchange, and culinary integrity. Its history is woven through centuries of agricultural evolution, migration, and the blending of tradition, resulting in a comfort food that transcends borders. To trace its origins, one must journey through the annals of stuffed vegetables, the introduction of key ingredients to Europe, and the resourcefulness of Eastern European kitchens. Ancient roots, the concept of stuffed vegetables. The practice of stuffing vegetables dates to antiquity, with early records found in Middle Eastern and Mediterranean cuisines. The Ottoman Empire popularised dolma, vegetables like grape leaves, eggplants, and squash filled with spiced grain meats or legumes, a dish that is spread across their vast territories. The concept of hollowing the filling resonated with neighbouring cultures, adapting to local tastes and ingredients. However, the bell pepper, central to the modern dish, was absent in Europe until the Columbian exchange of the 16th century. Native to the Americans, peppers were brought to Spain and Portugal by explorers, gradually migrating eastwards. By the 18th century, they had become staples to Balkan and Hungarian cuisine, prized for their vibrant colours and versatility. Eastern Europe, the cradle of stuffed peppers. In the fertile plains and forests of Eastern Europe, the dish began to take shape. Hungary's paprika stuffed peppers, traditionally filled with minced pork, rice, and paprika, became a national symbol. Meanwhile, in regions like Poland, Ukraine, and Romania, resourceful cooks embraced vegetarian variations, particularly during Orthodox Christian fasting periods when meat was prohibited. Mushrooms foraged from dense woodlands became a protein-rich substitute, paired with grains like barley and millet and later rice, introduced via Mediterranean trade routes. They created hearty economical fillings. Rice, though not native to Eastern Europe, gained traction in the 18th and 19th centuries as trade expanded. Its ability to absorb flavours and stretch meals made it ideal for stuffing. Similarly, sour cream had long been a dairy staple used to enrich soups, stews, and baked goods. Its tangy creaminess balanced the earthy savoury notes of mushrooms and grains, making it a natural companion to stuffed vegetables. The marriage of ingredients, the fusion of mushrooms, rice, and peppers likely emerged in rural communities where fragility and seasonal abundance dictated meals. Peppers, easy to grow in temperate climates, were harvested in late summer and often preserved for winter. Mushrooms foraged in autumn forests were dried or picked. Rice, though a luxury, initially became more accessible by the 19th century. Combining these elements created a dish that was both nourishing and deeply satisfying. Religious practices further shaped the recipe. During Lent, Orthodox families abstained from meat and dairy, but sour cream, permitted on certain feasting days, allowed for a touch of indulgence. In Jewish communities, stuffed peppers, um, without dairy became a Sabbath staple, though sour cream might be served separately. Crossing continents, immigration and adaptation. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw waves of Eastern European immigrants bring their culinary traditions to North America. Stuffed peppers, once a humble peasant dish, evolved in new kitchens. Canned tomatoes, affordable rice, and dairy-rich sour cream became pantry staples, leading to richer saucier itineraries in the US. In the US, the dish gained popularity as a hearty one-pan meal during the Great Depression and World War II, when rationing demanded creativity. Mushrooms too underwent transformation. While wild varieties remained cherished in Europe, immigrant cooks in America often used cultivated butter mushrooms, which were more widely available. The rise of vegetarianism in the 1970s and 80s further cemented the dish's place as a meatless centerpiece, celebrated for its depth and nutritional balance, modern interpretation, and global appeal. Today, mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream reflect both tradition and innovation. Chefs might add exotic mushrooms, oysters, herbs, dill and tarragon, or spices like smoked paprika for complexity. Vegan versions substitute cashew cream or coconut yogurt for dairy, while gluten-free grains like crumb modernize the filling. The dishes enduring appeal lies in its versatility. In Hungary, it remains a Sunday supper classic. In Brooklyn, New York, a trendy brunch item. In Kiev, a symbol of home. Food blogs and cookbooks have globalized its recipes, yet it still remains rooted in the communal ethos of Eastern Europe cooking, transforming simple ingredients into something extraordinary. Mushroom, mushroom Mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream embody a narrative of adaptation. From Ottoman kitchen to American suburbs, it has absorbed the flavours of each era and region, yet retained its essence, a harmonious blend of earth and cream, warmth and tang, simplicity and depth. It is a dish born of necessity, refined by tradition, and reinvented by generations, a culinary heirloom that continues to comfort and connect. In every bite, one taste history. The spice roots that brought peppers to Europe, the forest that yielded mushrooms, the resilience of immigrants, and the universal longing for a meal that feels like home. So here's a bit of a true story about the dish. Well, it's a story, but based on some historical facts about the dish. So, a family's legacy, the story of Maria's stuffed peppers. In the village of Safahoe, nestled in the Carpathian foothills of western Ukraine, there exists a recipe for mushrooms and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream that carries not just flavour but but the weight of survival, love, and resilience. This is the story of Maria, a woman whose hands turned scarcity into abundance, and whose dish became a symbol of hope for her family during one of Europe's darkest periods. Sorry. The winter of 1946. Maria was 32 when World War II ended, but peace did not bring relief. The Soviet occupation of Ukraine had left villages ravaged, food was rationed, and the collective farms yielded little. Maria's husband, Ivan, had not returned from the front lines, and she was left to care for their three children and her aging mother. That winter, the family survived on potatoes, foraged mushrooms, and whatever they could grow into their small garden. Bell peppers, which Maria had learned to cultivate from seeds, traded with the Hungarian refugee, became a rare bright spot, a burst of colour and sweetness in a grey, hungry world. One evening, as frost crept over the village, Maria's youngest daughter, Zana, fell ill with a fever. Desperate to nourish her, Maria gathered her supplies, a handful of dried mushrooms foraged the previous autumn, a cup of rice bartered from a neighbour, two wrinkled peppers from the cellar, and a dollop of sour cream saved from the last of the cow's milk. She rehydrated, generated the mushrooms, saluted them with onions and a pinch of paprika, traded for a skillet of wool and mixed them with rice. The peppers hollowed and stuffed roasted in the oven until their skins blistered. She spun the sour cream over the top, its cool richness a stark contrast to their smoky filling. When the designer tasted the dish, she smiled for the first time in weeks. Weeks. It's like eating sunshine, she whispered. A recipe for survival. Maria's stuffed peppers became a ritual. Every Sunday, she prepared them, stretching the filling with extra rice or grated beet when mushrooms were scarce. Neighbours began to gather at her table, exchanging stories and ingredients. The dish was more than food, it was an act of defiance against despair. Maria's eldest son, Petro, later recalled, even when there was nothing, Mama made us feel like kings. In 1952, when Soviet officials confiscated the family's cow, Maria adapted. She used fermented cabbage brain to mimic the tang of sour cream, but the dish lost none of its magic. When her mother passed, Maria tucked a handwritten recipe into her Bible, scribbled on a scrap of newspaper, mushroom rice mushrooms, rice, peppers, cream, feed the soul first. Crossing the Atlantic. In 1967, Maria's granddaughter Lydia fled Ukraine during the Soviet crackdown on dissidents. Hidden in her suitcase was her grandmother's recipe, wrapped in a linen handkerchief. Settling in Chicago, Lydia struggled to recreate the dish with American ingredients. Bell peppers were larger, sour cream tasted sweeter, and the mushrooms lacked the earthiness of Carpathian purchase. Yet at her first Christmas in exile, she gathered fellow immigrants and served the peppers. It tastes like home, one friend wept. Lydia opened a diner in 1975, naming it Maria's Kitchen. Her stuffed peppers, listed as peppers on the menu, became a staple for homesick Eastern Europeans. A food critic once called it peasant food, to which Lydia restored peasant food fed empires. The dish today. Maria's great-granddaughter Anna now runs the diner. The recipe remains unchanged, though Anna adds a drizzle of truffle oil for modern flair. In 2022, when Russian bombs fell on Kiev, Anna organised fundraisers, serving thousands of free stuffed peppers to Ukrainian refugees. The dish survived wars and dictators, she told the Chicago Tribune. It reminds us we're still here. In Zaffarat, Maria's original cottage stands empty, but the garden where she grew peppers still blooms. Locals say you can smell garlic and paprika on the wind, a ghostly kitchen still at work. Epilogue, the first bite. In 2019, a historian tracking Ukrainian disparate recipes visited Maria's diner. After one bite, he paused. It's extraordinary. The sour cream is not just a garnish, is it? Anna smiled. No, she said. It's the bridge between struggle and joy. My great-grandmother taught us that. Maria's stuffed peppers were not merely a dish, they are a story. A woman who fed hope to her children, of a family's unbreakable spirit, and of a recipe that became a lifeline across generations and continents. Every bite carries the whisper of her promise. As long as we cook, we remember. As long as we remember, we survive. Um, so the culture of mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream now. Mushrooms and rice stuffed peppers crowned with a dollop of sour cream are more than a meal. They are a culinary crossroads where geography, history, and tradition converge. The dish, with its humble ingredients and adaptable nature, reflects the resilience and creativity of the cultures that nourished it. Eastern European roots, comfort and austerity. In countries like Ukraine, Romania, and Bulgaria, stuffed peppers emerged as a staple of resourcefulness. During lean winters or political upheaval, families relied on pantry staples, bell peppers from summer gardens, foraged mushrooms, and rice traded on or bartered. The addition of sour cream or a dairy product central to Slavic cuisine added richness to otherwise frugal meals. Symbolism. In Ukraine, the dish became a metaphor for endurance. Peppers hollowed and filled mirrored the act of preserving hope in continuity. Sour cream, often homemade, symbolised nourishment and continuity. Communal traditions. Recipes were passed mental, with grandmothers teaching daughters to balance spices like paprika and coriander. Meatless versions using mushrooms and white rice became common during the Orthodox fasting periods. Balkan and Azerbaijan adapting to melting pot of flavours. The dish travelled southward, absorbing influences from Ottoman and Persian cuisines. In Azerbaijan, ground meat replaced mushrooms, while in Bulgaria, grated tomatoes and garlic enriched the filling. Sour cream remained a constant, bridging earthy and tangy notes. Festive occasions. Stuffed peppers became celebratory fare served at weddings and harvest festivals. The bright red peppers symbolised prosperity, while sour cream's whiteness evoked purity. Mexican reinvention, spice and fusion. Across the Atlantic, the dish took a bold turn in Mexican. Rambo peppers replaced bell peppers, and smoked gouda or cheddar mingled with rice and corn. Sour cream here played a dual role, cooling the Mexican pepper's mild heat and nodding to European dairy traditions. Modern twists, restaurants in cities like Chicago and Los Angeles fuse Eastern European and Mexican elements, creating hybrids like stuffed with wild mushrooms and drizzled with lime-infused sour cream. Vegetarian revival, a dish for changing times. As vegetarianism gained global traction, the mushroom rice pairing became a canvas for intervention. Blogs like Guatemala championed meat-free versions using brown white rice and baby spinach for texture. Sour cream, now available in low-fat or vegan varieties, maintained its role as a unifying garnish. Cultural flexibility. The dish adapts to dietary laws and preferences. Jewish cooks use olive oil instead of butter. Vegans substitute cashew cream for sour cream. Yet the essence, a stuffed vegetable brimming with sustenance, remains unchanged. Sour cream, the cultural contest. From Eastern Europe to Mexico, sour cream transcends its role as a garnish. It embodies contrast. Its coolness tempers smoky mushrooms or spicy Mexican rice. Memory for disposal communities. It invokes childhood kitchens and aristocratic ancestral lands. Unity bridges desperate immigrants, much like the cultures that reserve the dish. Mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream are a testament to culinary diplomacy. They remind us that food-like culture is never static. It absorbs, adapts, and endures. Whether served in a Ukrainian farmhouse, a, a, a Sophia Bistro, or a Los Angeles food truck, the dish whispers the same truth. Simplicity shared becomes legacy. The cultural tapestry of mushrooms, right? Mushrooms are met with a dollop of sour cream and more than a meal. They are a culinary crossroads whose geography, history, and tradition this dish with its humble ingredients. Right, so sorry, we've read that. We've read that, sorry, right. The texture of mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream offer a delightful combination of contrast that makes each bite interesting. So, one, bell peppers. The bell peppers themselves, when cooked, become tender but still retain a slight firmness, providing a succulent element to the dish. The skin may be slightly wrinkled, adding a bit of chewiness. Two, rice. Depending on the type of rice used, the texture can vary. White rice offers a fluffier texture while brown rice provides a chewier bite. Three, mushrooms. So, so Saluted mushrooms contribute a soft, almost meaty texture. They are tender and absorb the flavours of the spices and other ingredients they are cut with. Four, vegetables. Onions, garlic and spinach, if added, become soft and meld into the filling, offering a smooth and savoury element. Sour cream. The dollop of sour cream on top introduces a cool, creamy contrast to the warm, savoury filling and slightly firm pepper. It adds a smooth and tangy element that balances the other textures. Six, optional toppings. Some varieties include cheese, which, when melted, adds a gooey and stretchy texture. Breadcrumbs can provide a satisfying crunch. The flavours of mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream combine earthy, savoury and tangy elements, creating a comforting and versatile dish. 1. Bell peppers. Bell peppers provide a mild, slightly sweet base note. Roasting or cooking them softens their texture and enhances their natural sweetness. 2. Mushrooms contribute a deep, earthy, and rich flavour. Different types of mushrooms, such as portobello, button, or wild varieties, can add layers of complexity. Rice. Rice acts as a natural canvas, absorbing the surrounding flavours. Short grain rice can create a softer, more cohesive filling, while long grain rice offers a distinct texture. 4. Aromatic and spices. Onions and garlic form an aromatic foundation, adding pungency and depth. Herbs like thyme, oregano, and parsley, along with spices such as paprika, coriander, and red pepper flakes, introduce warmth and complexity. 5. Tomato paste or diced tomatoes provide a touch of acidity and sweetness, enriching the filling and adding moisture. Sour cream offers a tangy and creamy counterpoint, balancing the savoury and earthy notes of the filling. Its cool richness complements the warm cut vegetables. Optional additions. Cheese. Adding cheese such as feta or cheddar. Monterey Jack blend introduces a salty melty element. Lemon zest can brighten the dish, adding a citrusy note that complements the earthy mushrooms. Chipolata paste. For a spicy kick, triple ice paste can be mixed in the filling. Almonds provide a crunchy texture and nutty flavouring, enhancing the overall sensory experiences. The dish mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream has served variations influenced by cultural adaptations, ingredients availability and dietary preferences. Here are a few notable versions, so cultural and regional variations. So Eastern Europe, in countries like Ukraine, Romania and Bulgaria, the dish often features simple hearty ingredients due to historical resource constraints. Key ingredients include bell peppers, foraged mushrooms, rice, and homemade sour cream. Balkan and Azerbaijan, moving southward, the dish incorporates Ottoman and Persian flavours. Ground meat may replace mushrooms, and grated tomatoes and garlic enrich the filling. Sour cream remains a constant. In Mexican, portobello peppers, another type of pepper, replaces bell peppers, and cheeses like smoked Gouda or cheddar are mixed with rice and corn. Sour cream balances the mild heat of the Mexican peppers. Vegetarian and vegan adaptations. Many modern versions emphasize meat-free options, using ingredients such as brown rice and spinach for added texture. Vegan versions substitute cashew cream for sour cream and ensure all other ingredients are plant-based. Ingredient variations. Rice. While white rice is common, some recipes use brown rice or risotto rice for different texture and nutritional profiles. Mushrooms. The type of mushrooms can vary widely, from common button mushrooms to more flavourful options like portobello or wild mushrooms. Peppers. Different peppers such as bell peppers, various colours, or Mexican peppers can be used based on regional availability and desired spice level. Additional vegetables. Recipes may include artichoke hearts, corn, or spinach to add flavour and texture. Flavour enhancement, spices and herbs. Common additions include paprika, coriander, thyme, oregano, and fennel seeds for unique flavour profiles. Sauces. Some variations simmer the stuffed peppers in tomato sauce or a tomato sauce sour cream sauce for added moisture or flavour. Cheeses such as cheddar, Monterey Jack, or feta can be added for a richer, meltier texture. Lemon zest. Lemon zest can brighten the dish, adding a citrusy note that complements the earthy mushrooms. The ingredients. So the ingredients for mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream can vary, but here are some common components based on different recipes. So bell peppers, any colour, halved lengthwise or tops removed. Rice, cut rice such as white rice, brown rice, or basmati rice. Mushrooms, various types like button, crimpfield, or portobello, bella mushrooms, sliced or chopped. Sour cream used as a topping or mixed into the filling. Vegetables and aromas, onions diced or sliced, garlic minced or pruned, diced tomatoes canned or fresh, roasted red peppers diced, spinach, baby spinach chopped, thinly sliced, separated with whites from greens. Spices and seasonings. So olive oil for sautéing and drizzling, salt and pepper to taste, Italian seasoning for flavour, paprika for colour and flavour, dried coriander adds a citrusy warm flavour to spice blend for the Mediterranean twist. So optional ingredients include ground beef for non-vegetable versions. Worcestershire sauce adds to the flavour. Cream of mushroom soup, vegan for creaminess. Feta cheese, crumbled for a salty, tangy flavour. Mexican shredded cheese, such as cheddar or Montreal blend. Black beans adds proteins and texture. Yeah, mate, just forget. Right. The dish, mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream, engages all the senses, creating a holistic dining experience. Touch. Bell peppers. The cut bell peppers are tender yet slightly firm, providing a structural element that is soft to the touch but still holds its shapes. The skin may be tightly wrinkled. Rice, depending on the type of rice, the rice can be fluffy, white rice, or chewy brown rice, offering varied textures. Mushrooms, salted mushrooms are soft and almost meaty, providing a tender bite. Sour cream, a dollop of sour cream introduces a cool, creamy, soft smoothness that contrasts with the warm filling. Taste, bell peppers. Bell peppers offer a mild, slightly sweet flavour, which is enhanced when roasted or cooked. Mushrooms provide an earthy, umami rich flavour with different varieties adding complexity. Rice absorbs surrounding flavours, acting as a natural base. Aromatics and spices. Onions and garlic add pungency and depth, while herbs and spices like thyme, oregano, paprika, and coriander introduce warmth. Sour cream offers a tangy and creamy counterpart, balancing the savoury and earthy notes. Smell. And the cooking process releases the fragrance of some salted mushrooms and garlic, creating an inviting and savoury aroma. Mushrooms emit an earthy scent that intensifies as they cook, blending with the herbs and spices. Baking Baking peppers, roasting the bell peppers brings out their sweetness, contributing a comforting and warm smell to the kitchen. Sounds to sizzling. The initial sizzle of onions and garlic in a pan as they are saluted in oil. Simmering. The gentle simmer of the stuffed peppers in tomato sauce or vegetable broth, if the dish involves a sauce component. Spooning. The soft sound of spooning the creamy sour cream over the warm stuffed peppers before serving. Sides, colourful peppers. The vibrant colours of bell peppers include red, yellow, green, orange, and orange, can create an appealing visual presentation. Filling. The mix of rice, mushrooms, and herbs creates a visually interesting texture inside the peppers. Melted cheese. If cheese is added, the melted bubbly topping adds a golden brown hue and visual richness. Sour cream garnish. A dollop of white sour cream on top provides a striking contrast against the colourful peppers and fillings. Mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream can be served with a variety of side dishes that complement its flavours and textures. Here are some options. So, salads. A refreshing salad can balance the richness of the stuffed peppers. Options include Caesar salad, green salad, or a chopped salad. Vegetables, roasted vegetables such as carrots and cherry tomatoes add colour and nutrition. Other options include crispy green beans, steamed vegetables, or Italian green beans. Bread, warm bread can soak up the flavours of the stuffed peppers. Consider garlic bread or a cornbread. Rice and potatoes, right complements the flavours of the peppers. Mashed potatoes offer a creamy contrast. Baked potatoes can be customised with toppings. Soups. Tomato soup pairs well with stuffed peppers, offering a smooth and tangy flavour. Other options include karama salad, coleslaw, stuffed mushrooms, grilled asparagus, pasta salad, sweet potato fries, corn on the cob, a cheese platter, artichokes, Brussels sprouts with bacon. The dish mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream is well suited for festivals, celebrating mushrooms, regional cuisine or culinary creativity. Based on the right, so here are some festivals it can be served at. So Morgan Hill Mushroom Festival, California, USA. Formerly called the Mushroom Mardi Gras Festival, this event focuses on mushroom-centric dishes. The dish could be featured in both showcasing innovative mushroom recipes such as stuffed peppers with locally sourced fungi. The festival emphasises mushroom-themed cooking and attracts food enthusiasts, making it an ideal venue. A mushroom festival in Greece. Held annually in August, this Balkan festival highlights wild mushrooms. Both through cooking classes, exhibitions, and tastings. The dish could appear as a modern twist on traditional stews or pies, aligning with the event's focus on culinary innovation and education. Festa della in Italy. This Italian festival This Italian festival celebrates puncture mushrooms in September. The dish could be adapted using puncture mushrooms and served as part of themed menus in local restaurants, emphasising earthy rustic flavours that complement the festival's focus on wild mushrooms. Continent Square Mushroom Festival. Kennett Square Mushroom Festival, Pennsylvania, USA. Known as the mushroom capital of the world, this festival features mushroom-centered dishes like stuffed mushrooms, soups and risottos. The dish could be showcased as a vegetarian option, especially with its creamy sour cream topping. The festival's emphasis on diverse mushroom recipes and its national recognition by USA's game makes a prime venue. Adaptability for regional variations. This dish's flexibility allows it to align with different festivals. In Mediterranean festivals use feta olives. In Latin American events, substitute portobello and add spices. At vegetarian festivals, replace sour cream with cashew cream. These festivals often prioritise local ingredients and cultural heritage, making the dish a versatile candidate for customisation. Why is this festival worthy? Sensory appeal combines vibrant colours, peppers, earthy aromas, mushrooms, and creamy textures, sour cream. Cultural resourcefulness, adaptable to regional flavours from Greek herbs to Italian percha. Crowd friendly, suitable for large scale tastings or cooking demonstrations. The mushrooms enthusiasts or food festivals prioritising sustainability and creativity. This dish is a natural fit. The creation of mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream involves several scientific principles that influence its taste, texture, and overall appeal. Maillard reaction: solution the onion, garlic, and mushrooms involves the Maillard reaction, a chemical process between amino acids and reducing sugars that occurs at high temperatures. This reaction is responsible for the browning and development of complex flavours. Caramelization. The natural sugars in onions caramelize when heated, creating a sweet and savoury flavour profile. Flavour infusions. As the mushrooms cook, they release volatile organic compounds that contribute to their earthy aroma and taste. These compounds infuse the surrounding ingredients, enhancing the overall flavour of the dish. Textural molecular Celsius breakdown. Cooking the bell peppers softens their cell walls, making them tender and easier to eat. Roasting the peppers can further break down these structures or adding a slightly smoky flavour. Starch cooking the rice involves starch classification, where starch granules absorb water and swell, resulting in soft and fluffy textures. The type of rice used, for example, jasmine, basmati, or brown rice, affects the final texture and flavour. Protein. If ground meat is added to the filling, the cooking process searches for proteins, causing them to firm up and bind together. Role of ingredients. Bell peppers provide a structural component to mixing the filling and contributing a slightly sweet flavour. The colour also adds visual appeal. Mushrooms offer a umami-rich flavour and a meaty texture. Different types of mushrooms, like portobello, can be used to vary the flavour profile. Rice. Rice acts as a binding agent, absorbing flavours from the other ingredients and providing a carbohydrate base. Sour cream adds a tangy and creamy element, balancing the savoury flavours and providing a cooling contrast to the warm filling. Nutritional aspects. Vitamins and minerals. Bell peppers are rich in vitamin C and other antioxidants. Mushrooms provide vitamin B, vitamin D, protein, iron, and antioxidants. Ingredients like brown rice, mushrooms, and vegetables contribute dietary fibre, promoting digestive health. The dish combines carbohydrates, rice, proteins from mushrooms or added meat, and fats from sour cream and olive oil to provide a balanced meal. Dinner party, the Butterfly Princess Bistro, and I've tried to incorporate as much of this into the image you see behind me. So the air inside the Butterfly Princess Academy dining room, a Glasgow conservatory alive with fluttering monarchs, twinkling fairy lights, and cascading orchids, hung with anticipation. At the centre of the circular marble table sat the Butterfly Princess, her fiery red bob catching the glow of candlelight, her wheelchair donned with iridescent wings that mirrored her own delicate translucent ones, positioned her as the of the evening. A butterfly-shaped crown resting atop her head, its jewels reflecting prismatic hues onto her students, who lean forward in their velvet chairs, notebooks open. The setting. The table was a tapestry of Metamorphosis. Centerpiece. A tinted platter of mushrooms and rice stuffed peppers, their crimson and gold skins glistening under a drizzle of sour cream. Each pepper resembled a split open to reveal the transformed filling. Earthy mushrooms symbolising growth, rice as substance, and sour cream as the nectar binding it all. Decor. Butterflies crafted from floating linen napkins perched beside crystal goblets, floating candles in lotus bowls, cast rippling shadows mimicking rings in flight. Aroma. The scent of smoked paprika and caramelized onions mingled with the conservatory's jasmine blooms, creating a sensory bridge between food and nature. The butterfly princess raised a hand, her butterfly necklace shimmering. Tonight she began, her voice warm yet commanding. We explore how adaptation and resilience shape both cuisine and life. Observe the dish, its layers mirrors our own journey. The lesson unfolds. As students sample the peppers, the butterfly princess wove her teachings into each bite. The pepper's shell, like a catalyst, the pepper's structure protects its fillings until it's ready to emerge. But heat softens it, just as challenges make us flexible. She gestured to her wheelchair. What once confined me now carries me. The mushrooms. Fungi thrive in darkness, breaking down decay to create life. These mushrooms, she said, pointing to the earthy rich filling, remind us that even in hardship we nourish others. The sour cream, cool, tangy, unexpected, it balances the heat. Adaptation isn't about erasing struggles, but harmonising it. A student, wide-eyed, asked, but how does this relate to us? The butterfly princess smiled. You've each bought recipes from your homelands. Tomorrow we'll fuse them. Persian saffron, Nigerian jollof rice into new stuffings, like the dish I strength flies in blended tradition, not discarding them. Down, the rustle of wings and soft clink of silverware accompanied a live harpist playing Debussy's Riviere. Sight. Butterflies landed briefly on shoulders and wine glasses as if blessing the meal. Touch. Students passed a bowl of raw rice, feeling its texture before the butterfly princess demonstrated how cooking transformed it. Hardness to softness, isolation to unity. The final toast. The butterfly princess lifted her glass of elderflower cordial, its bubbles catching the light like tiny wings. To metamorphosis, she declared, may we honour our past, embrace our present, and dare to stuff life with curiosity. As the conservatory's glass ceiling revealed a starry sky, the students scribbled notes, their faces illuminated by fireflies, or perhaps by the kindling of newfound purpose. The stuffed peppers, now empty platters, had served their role not just as a meal but as a metaphor. And in that moment, the line between classroom and cosmos blurred, leaving only the whisper of wings and the taste of possibility. So here's a conclusion. Right, so mushroom, rice, stuffed peppers with sour cream are more than a dish. They're a celebration of harmony and transformation. At their core, they unite humble, earthy ingredients into a vibrant sensory experience. Tender bell peppers cradle a hearty filling of umami-rich mushrooms and fluffy rice, while a dollop of cool, tangy sour cream ties everything together with its creamy contrast. This dish thrives on balance, sweetness from caramelised peppers, depth from savoury mushrooms, and brightness from herbs and acidity, creating a symphony of flavours that feels both comforting and sophisticated. Beyond its culinary appeal, the dish embodies adaptability. It transcends cultural boundaries, effortlessly absorbing regional twists, whether Mediterranean herbs, Mexican spices, or vegan substitutions. While maintaining its essence, its versatility makes its canvas for creativity appealing to both casual diners and grand celebrations. Symbolically, The stuffed peppers mirrors themes of resilience and metamorphosis, like a trellis protecting its potential. The pepper softens under the heat to reveal a nourishing core, echoing the idea that challenges can yield beauty in gatherings. It becomes a metaphor for unity, blending diverse traditions into something new and meaningful. Ultimately, mushroom, rice, stuffed peppers with sour cream are a testament to the power of food to nourish not just the body but also the imagination. They remind us that even the simplest ingredients, when thoughtfully combined, can inspire connection, reflection, and joy. So, dish analysis: mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream, historical and cultural perspectives, historical background. Stuffed peppers are a culinary tradition with roots in multiple regions, but the bell pepper variant gained prominence in Europe after the Columbian exchange that took place during the 15th and 16th centuries. When peppers from the Americans were introduced to the Old World, the dish likely evolved in Eastern Europe and the Balkans, particularly in Hungary, where paprika derived spice became became central to cuisine. By the 18th century, initially stuffed vegetables like grape leaves, goma were common in Ottoman influence. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I'm good. Yeah, yeah. Central, yeah. Okay, cookie. Stuffed vegetables like grape leaves, goma were common in Ottoman-infused regions, but bell peppers became a popular versatile juice for hearty structures and sweetness. The mushrooms and rice fillings reflect resourcefulness in agrarian and forest regions. In areas such as Poland, Ukraine, and Russia, foraging for wild mushrooms is a centuries-old practice, often incorporated into peasant dishes during meat-scarce periods or Orthodox Christian fasting. Rice, introduced via trade routes from Asia, became a staple, suffering ingredients by the 19th century, offering an affordable shelf-stable base. Sour cream emerged as a hallmark in Eastern European dairy traditions, valued for its cooling contrast to spicy and earthy flavours. Its addition to stuffed peppers likely originated in Hungary or Poland, where dairy farming thrived. Bell peppers are summer autumn crops, making this dish a seasonal celebration of harvest. In rural communities, stuffing vegetables minimise waste, utilising garden produce and foraged mushrooms. In Ottoman Christian cultures, for example, Russia and Ukraine, meatless versions with mushrooms and rice were served during Lent, aligning with these fasting practices. Symbolism: mushrooms representing resilience and connection to nature in Slavic folklore. Their earthy flavour symbolised humanity and subsistence. Peppers: in Hungarian cultures, paprika-infused dishes like stuffed peppers are national symbols, reflecting pride in Agrarian innovation. Hungary often includes paprika spiced meats, but vegetarian versions with mushrooms highlight the dish's adaptability. Poland, Ukraine, sour cream is ambitious garnish, balancing the pepper sweetness and the filling savouriness. Right. Mushrooms and rice, stuffed peppers, and with sour cream amplify the fusion of old world traditions and new world ingredients, both from historical necessity and cultural exchange. The dish embodies Eastern European resourcefulness, seasonal reverence, and communal value. It's enduring popularity underscores how humble ingredients, when woven into cultural narratives, become timeless comfort food. So educational questions and answers about the gift. So question one. How did the Columbian Exchange influence the development of stuffed pepper dishes like this one? The Columbian Exchange introduced bell peppers from the Americans to Europe when they became a culinary staple in regions like Eastern Europe and the Balkans. Prior to this, stuffed dishes in Ottoman-infused areas used vegetables like grape leaves, dolma, or cabbage. The arrival of peppers allowed cooks to experiment with a sweeter, sturdier vessel, blending the new world ingredients with old world techniques. The fusion it amplified how global trade reshaped regional cuisine, turning stuffed peppers into a symbol of cross-cultural exchange. Question two. Why might mushrooms and rice have been practical filling choices in historical Eastern European cooking? Mushrooms were abundant in forested regions of Eastern Europe and could be foraged at no cost, making them a resourceful protein source during meat shortages or religious fasting periods. For example, Orthodox Christian Lent. Rice, introduced via trade routes from Asia, was affordable shelf staple and expanded when cooked, stretching meals to feed larger families. Together, these ingredients reflect traditional and frugal cooking traditions, prioritising sustainability and accessibility in rural communities. 3. How does the use of sour cream in the dish reflect broader dairy traditions in Slavic cuisine? Sour cream has been a cornerstone of Slavic dairy culture for centuries, valued for its tangy flavour and versatility. In older climates, dairy farming thrived, and fermented products like sour cream preserved milk's nutrients. Adding it to stuffed peppers balances the dish's richness, softens texture, and adds a cooling contrast, a technique seen in other Slavic dishes like the practice highlights how dairy was integrated into savoury meals as both a garnish and a functional ingredient. In what ways does the dish align with modern dietary trends such as vegetarianism or sustainability? The mushroom and rice filling offers a plant-based protein source, making it inherently vegetarian and adaptable to vegan diets. By substituting sour cream, its resilience on seasonal vegetables and forage mushrooms also aligns with sustainable farm-to-table practices, minimalising food waste. Additionally, the dish's simplicity and use of whole ingredients resonate with contemporary preferences for unprocessed nutrient meals. Historically rooted in resourcefulness, it's now a model for eco-conscious cooking. How might regional variations of stuffed peppers reflect culinary techniques? Identity. In Hungary, paprika spice meat fillings emphasise the nation's iconic spice. In Poland, mushrooms and sour cream create forest foraging and dairy traditions. In the Balkans, substitutions like feta cheese reflect Mediterranean influences. These variations act as edible markers of cultural identity, preserving heritage which while allowing flexibility based on geography, religion, or ingredient availability. What symbolic meanings might mushrooms and peppers hold in the cultures that created the dish? Right, so In Slavic folklore, mushroom symbolizes resilience and a connection to nature, appearing in myths as gifts from the forest. Their earthy flavour also represented humility and substance. Bell peppers, meanwhile, became symbols of abundance and innovation in places like Hungary, where paprika, made from dried peppers, is an actual emblem. Together, these ingredients embody a cultural narrative of survival, adaptability, and pride in local landscapes. Next question. How could the dish be used to teach about historical class divisions in Eastern Europe? Answer. Stuffed peppers with mushrooms and rice were historically peasant foods, relying on inexpensive forage or homegrown ingredients. In contrast, wealthier households might have used meat or imported spices. Analysing the dish's ingredients and evolution can spark discussions about how cuisine reflects social hierarchies, resources access, and the creativity of lower class cooks. Well, who transformed scarcity into flavourful, enduring traditions. Some rhetorical questions and insights now. Right. So one, what does a single stuffed pepper reveal about humanity's relationship with sweat and abundance? The humble combination of mushrooms and rice, ingredients born of foraging and frugality, speaks to time when food was shaped by necessity, not luxury. Yet the dish's vibrant pepper visual, a gift from the Columbian Exchange, reminds us how abundance can emerge from cross-cultural collusion. Does this contrast between thrift and generosity mirror the human capacity to transform limitations into creativity? Can a dish be both a relic of the past and a blueprint for the future? Stuffed peppers rooted in peasant traditions and meatless fasting now resonate with modern vegetarianism and sustainable eating. Their resilience on seasonal plant-based ingredients feels strikingly contemporary. Is that a testament to our ancestral wisdom often put the solutions we seek today? Why do certain flavours become cultural touchstones? The tang of sour cream against earthy mushrooms and sweet peppers is more than a flavour profile. It's a sensory map of Eastern Europe's forests and farms. What does it mean for a single bite to invoke the mystery of a mushroom hut, the warmth of a dairy cellar, or the sun-soaked soil of a pepper patch? How does food preserve stories that history books overlook? The Pepper's journey from the Americas to Eastern European kitchens is a tale of globalizations. Yet its stuffing of mushrooms and rice whispers quieter narratives of peasants feeding families with what the land provided, of fasting ritual binding communities of women passing down recipes as heirlooms. Who gets to write history? Whose legacy is tucked into the folds of a pepper? Is comfort food a language of resilience? Stuffed peppers are often dubbed peasant food, but their enduring popularity suggests something deeper. Could the act of filling a vegetable with humble ingredients, transforming the ordinary into a nourishing but a quiet act of defiance against hardship? Does comfort food teach us that survival and joy are not mutually exclusive? What does it mean to stuff a vegetable? The very act of stuffing, whether a pepper or a grape leaf or a cabbage, hints at a universal human impulse to fill emptiness with purpose. Is this culinary gesture a metaphor for how we seek to imbue life with meaning, layering simplicity with intention? What do we reckon peasant dishes, well, overlooking their origins in why right? Why do we romanticize peasant dishes while overlooking their origins in struggle? The very active right. Modern chefs elevate stuffed peppers with gourmet mushrooms and artist-scale creams. Yet the dish is so wise in its resourcefulness. Does our fascination with rustic cuisine risks sanctualizing the integrity born of depravity, or does reinvention honour the spirit of adaptability that defines culinary survival? Food is time travel. Each ingredient in the dish is a time stamp. Peppers from the 16th century, mushrooms from ancient acidic forest, sour cream from tradition. Right, so we're not going to read. Right. Final thoughts. The dish of mushroom and rice stuffed peppers with sour cream is far more than a comforting meal. It's a culinary crossroads where history, culture, and human integrity converge. From its roots in the Columbian exchange to its evolution as a symbol of peasant resilience, the dish anticipates how food transcends sustenance to become a narrative of survival, adaptation, and identity. It reminds us that the humblest ingredients often carry the deepest stories. Bell peppers as ambassadors of globalizations, mushrooms as emblems of nature's generosity, and sour cream as a testament to pastoral traditions. The dish also challenges us to rethink boundaries between scarcity and abundance, tradition and invention. Local and global, its enduring appeal lies in its fluidity, adapting amid religious fasting, modern vegetarianism, and gourmet experimentation while retaining its soulful core. In a world increasingly drawn to authenticity, stuffed peppers quietly assert that cuisine is not static. It is a living dialogue between the past and the present. So, Um, food is never just food. It's never just food. It is a time capsule, a political act, and a love letter to the landscape and people who shaped it. As you savour a stuffed pepper across centuries and the futures it might inspire, let this dish invite you to dig deeper into your own heritage, into the ethics of eating, and into the boundless creativity that turns simple ingredients into shared legacies. In the words of culinary historian, food is culture and culture is food. May your curiosity like this dish always be richly stuffed. So here are some thoughts about further study. So here. Stuffed peppers are culinary tapestry of Eastern Europe and the Balkans. Stuffed peppers are a simple dish of hollowed vegetables filled with grains, meats, or forest treasures and are a culinary microscope of Eastern European and the Balkans. Each bite carries the weight of history, identity, and resilience, woven through centuries of political upheaval, religious devotion, and cultural exchange. From the paprika-laden kitchen of Hungary to the mushroom-rich forest of Poland and the spices-infused traditions of Serbia, this dish transcends borders, embodying the soul of a region whose food is both substance and storytelling. Right, so regional deep dives, peppers is new. Right. Hungary, the paprika revolution. In Hungary, stuffed peppers are a vibrant ode to national pride. Their crimson hue derived from paprika, a spice so iconic is his double red gold introduced in the 16th century after Ottoman Turks brought peppers from the Americans. Paprika became central to Hungarian identity, symbolising resistance to foreign rule and reclamation. Traditional fillings blend ground pork or beef with rice, onions, and a heavy hang of paprika simmered in smarty sauce. The dish's richness reflects Hungary's with wealth and its Austro-Hungarian legacy, while meat was a market of prosperity, was a marker of prosperity. Poland, forest bounty and Catholic fidelity. Polish stuffed peppers, with its earthy meatless fillings. Here, wild mushrooms mingle with barley or rice bound by sour cream. This version emerged from Catholic fasting traditions, where meatless Fridays and Lent demanded ingenuity. The resilience of foraged mushrooms underscores Poland's vast forests and a historical reverence for nature's lager. Sour cream, a staple of Slavic dairy cultures, adds tang balancing the flavour, pepper's sweetness, a harmony reflecting Poland's blend of rustic humility and culinary refreshment. Serbian stuffed peppers with the flavours of the Balkans, minced from our pot, spiced with paprika and garlic, is stuffed into peppers and cooked in a broth kissed with smoky roasted pepper relish. This recipe bears Ottoman fingerprints from the use of ground meat, a Turkish dolma influence to the slow-cooked sauce. Yet it is distinctly Serbian, embodying the national's rugged terrain and pastoral traditions. The dish robustness mirrors Serbia's history of resilience, a peoples nourished by harsh meals and shifting empires. These variations are edible maps of conquest and autonomy. Hungary's paprika-centric dish asserts cultural independence post-Ottoman rule. Poland's mushroom fillings whisper of Catholic identity under foreign versions. Serbia's meaty versions echo its Ottoman past and Slavic resilience. Each pepper is a boldly drawn and redrawn, flavoured by the politics of survival. Food is cultural memory. For Eastern Europe and Balkan stuffed peppers are edible heirlooms, bridging ancestral homelands and new worlds. Immigrants adapt recipes to navigate belonging. In Chicago's Serbian enclaves, canned substitutes homemade relish preserving taste with fresh peppers sauces. Polish Americans might swap wild mushrooms for homage to tradition. Hungarian refugees, after 1956, introduced stuffed peppers to American diners. Their paprika-laden versions becoming ethnic in mainstream cookbooks. These adaptations are acts of cultural preservation or reinvention. A second generation Ukrainian in Canada might venture the dish with lentils, honouring their heritage while aligning with modern food. Food becomes a negotiating identity between here and there. Right. Stuffed peppers are more than food, they are a living chronicle of human integrity. They tell of Ottoman spices and Columbian exchanges, of women's hands and yieldings of feast of fast and feast, dancing abundance in their folds. lessons for a fractured world, how to honour the past without being bound by it, how to innovate without erasing, and how to transform simple ingredients into shared legacy. As we face global challenges, climate crisis, cultural erosion, inequality, the stuffed pepper invites us to return to the table, not just to eat, but to listen to the whispers of ancestors, the sizzle of adaptation, and the promise that forms a single pepper, a universe of stories can bloom. In the words of the Hungarian poet, a nation's culture resides in the heart and the stomach, where we always savour both. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, concludes today's lesson of the Butterfly Princess Academy, where curiosity takes flight and wisdom wears wings. I would very much like to thank you for joining me at the Academy for today's lesson, and hope that you will be able to join me again in the near future for more lessons. But until then, have a lovely rest of your week and of your day, and I will see you again very soon. Bye for now. Take care.